Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Monday, June 19th, 2017 by Gaia Blooming. I am Mimi and our energy mantra for today is I am empowered by my connection to source consciousness in this now moment. And breathe. So, we are basically finishing up Gemini. This is actually technically, at least on the West Coast and Hawaii and Alaska, we are in the last full day of Sun in Gemini. We actually will have the Sun shift into Cancer on Tuesday evening around like 9:30 p.m.-ish Pacific time. So we still technically have like another full day, but you know, this is the last full 24-hour span. And as I was posting the other day, one of the videos, I was like, Gemini has no chill. And that's our story, and we're sticking to it. Gemini is like, hey, we are going to get this lesson. We are going to get this lesson of moving out of mind energy and beyond illusion into divine consciousness, into source consciousness. And before I get into all the astro, I'm actually going to just bring these cards up because they are going to play a part in this, the shapeshifter card. So the first card I pulled was Little Red Riding Hood, I am not a victim. And I was like, whew, that's an intense message. It can match today. We have the Sun square Chiron, so we're going to get into it. But I was like, okay, can you give me something a little bit lighter, to go with it? And I got the Mermaid and the Turtle to go with it, which is an elder will teach you. But as I was looking at the wisdom of this, it talks about the goddess Sedna and her journey from victim to a being who gave the gift of creation. So I was like, whoa, here we have victim twice in these cards. And looking with the Sun square Chiron, with Neptune retrograde right now, this Jupiter Yod going on, this actually might be, and actually with the Pallas Uranus connection too, this might actually be a perfect time to look at victim consciousness and how and where you may be carrying it within you. Now, we've all gone through some kind of trauma in this life, and trauma has so many different levels. What could be traumatic for somebody is a haircut or not being heard. What could be traumatic could be something physically devastating. There are so many levels of trauma, and it's really not for anybody else to judge what has been traumatic for you or not. But a lot of times, if the trauma has not been looked at consciously, a lot of times there will be some victim consciousness still hanging around that. And so today we are looking to make that shift from the mind, where the mind was like, these bad things happen to me and I'm fearful that more bad things are going to happen to me. Instead, beyond that illusion, into divine consciousness, into knowing the presence of source within you and through you that is you, to help you show up for those parts of yourself that have been wounded, that have that trauma, to hold those parts of yourself. This is the Chiron, the wounded healer. Chiron energy is healer, heal thyself. We all have healer archetype within us. So you have this ability to show up and hold yourself. Now, I'm not saying don't go to practitioners to help you, because that's what practitioners are for, whether they bring it to your awareness and consciousness or whether they can give you tools to help you shift. Healer, heal thyself. You've got to show up. You've got to be, what's the right word? It's not really vigilant. There was another word. Proactive. Haha, yes. Proactive in noticing when victim consciousness, trauma consciousness, fear consciousness, any of these things rise to the surface so that you can meet them where they're at. This Sun square Chiron energy is at 28 degrees. 28 degrees is that 10 energy. 10 energy is like, do you know your worth? A lot of us are carrying wounds around our worth because we're still stuck in the illusion of the mind. We're still stuck in the trauma. Because of the trauma, because things aren't perfect, because bad things have happened, we aren't worth as much as we know somewhere deep inside that we could be. I mean, here's the thing. We wouldn't have lack of worth if we didn't inherently know that there is this inherent stardust within us, this inherent source worth. universal worth within us. We have the low self-worth because there is the capacity for knowing your whole worth. And this is what we are building into with this Jupiter Yod and with other aspects that are going on, so that we may truly know ourselves, so that we may truly come to be in our full power. The Queen of Wands, sharing our light, sharing our divine light. How beautiful is that? But first, you've got to recognize and show up to those places as they come up, as they show up for you, or as you notice that you are not standing in your full queendom or kingdom or divine lighthousedom. So we actually reach that Jupiter Yod today. Venus will be in conjunct Jupiter today, 13 degrees, revolution, evolution. Taking us beyond these illusions, taking us beyond these veils that we have put on ourselves that no longer serve us. I love this revolution, evolution, Jupiter energy. Jupiter is saying, align to yourself, align to your divine consciousness within, align to the highest worth that you can align to within yourself at this time. Now, I love that Neptune energy is part of this Yod. Neptune energy is attuning us to past life energies as it is retrograde. And so, as it is retrograde, attuning us to this past life stuff, you may find these energies from the past that have been assisting in the illusion, in these illusions that have been trapped inside your minds. I've said this many times. I will say it again because it's been such a big Shazam wow for me. I have been working on my worth stuff for a really, really, really long time, like 10 plus years, because I was like, I know that there's this place in me where I'm this awesome person, and yet sometimes, a lot of times, I really feel like a pile of garbage, and I don't want to feel this way. So I was digging and digging and digging. Where is it? I can't find it, and I'm finding all these little things. I'm like, that's a piece, that's a little piece, that's a little piece, cool, cool. And it wasn't until I figured out that Atlantis life, which was very science fiction for my very logical mind at times. It was when I found that piece and clicked that piece, and I was like, wow, this is why I have not allowed myself to be worth more than this crumpled piece of garbage that, that I keep feeling within. So you may find through this Yod, through this connection, the sun connection to Chiron, that you find, or this energy has been brought up within you. Now, the thing isn't to get sucked into victim consciousness. Bad things happen. They happen to all of us. You can get stuck in, why did this happen to me? I don't like that this happened to me. Or know that everything that does happen is, and unfortunately, because this is not something I like to say to anybody who's been through trauma or is going through trauma, but everything ultimately is a tool. Sorry, it is a tool for helping us, opening us up into our highest divine source consciousness that is within. So if you tune into these things, don't get stuck into, he did this to me, she did this to me, blah, 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 it was terrible. Okay, it happened. What is the lesson? And where can you grow from this lesson that has come up? Do not get sucked into that victim consciousness. Rise. That is healer, heal thyself. Don't get caught up in the mind patterns. The mind patterns may take you into fear. Those mind patterns may take you into ego. You don't have to go there. You are safe. You are cared for. You are a child of the universe. All is well. And you can be empowered through your connection to divine source consciousness within. So, whew. That being said, we have the moon finishing up in Aries, which may be adding to any fire that may come up. And let me just say, if fire does come up from this, if you feel some anger, that may be part of your processing. I'm not saying suppress the anger, but move through the anger into your passion. Okay, what did it teach me? And how do I keep moving into this so I can move and groove into my best, fiery Queen of Wands self? The Queen of Wands card. I love this card. It's divine creativity. All these things can feed into your creativity. So that moon in Aries, is connecting us to Saturn, connecting us to getting out of those old beliefs. And I have to say that I think trauma consciousness, victim consciousness can often be one of those beliefs that keeps us stuck in those cycles. What did you need to learn from it? What was the divine telling you? And how do you rise? And keep asking, how do I rise from this? The moon connecting to Mercury may bring in that information as you show up for the consciousness. Mercury is almost also finished in Gemini as well. Mercury is preparing to move into Cancer. And let me just say, I will be so glad because Mercury in Gemini has been uber mischievous. People keep asking me, when's Mercury retrograde? Nope, this isn't retrograde. This isn't even shadow. This is just Mercury top line, top shelf mischief at its best, or worse, depending on how you want to look at it. The sun and the moon will be connecting, will be coordinating. Keep coming back into your I am. Who are you beneath those levels of trauma? Who are you beneath those levels of victim that you may have worn for protection? There's no shaming in anything that you've needed to do in order to get through. But who can you be now? Beyond any of those cloaks, beyond any of that illusion, beyond what your mind has told you. This is entering a brand new path, a brand new, I feel like, energy of divine source consciousness. Because my original energy mantra was, I'm empowered by my connection to consciousness. And then I was, sitting here doing the horoscope, and I was like, but, there is the victim consciousness. It's not just consciousness that we want to connect to. It's the divine source consciousness. And not in any moment here, there, anywhere. It's in this now moment. And it's this now moment which will take us through. So we also have Pallas and Uranus together today. Pallas breaking through the chains of patriarchy by connecting to Uranus. Liberation, revolution, evolution. This is at 29 degrees. Feeding into your passion, letting your passion be what moves you. And I think this is, again, perfect timing because I think one of the best tools of the patriarchy is the tool of fear. I am not enough because I can't save the world. That feels like a pretty good tool to use to keep people silent. So we're moving beyond that consciousness and being like, oh, with my light, I save the world. With my light, I change the world. I also want to say, very interestingly, we have Lilith moving into Capricorn. Lilith has been hanging out in Sagittarius and Scorpio for so long. Today, Black Moon Lilith moves into Capricorn. Now, to be fair, Lilith oscillates. She'll be back into Sagittarius. However, the combination of all this energy and Lilith moving into Capricorn, Lilith being like, we don't need those old structures anymore. There's a cute kitty right there. She wants to cuddle. Of course, she comes when I talk about Lilith. Lilith and Lala. Lilith in Capricorn. She's like, we will not fulfill. We will not obey. We will not pay heed to these structures that put us in this place of victim consciousness anymore. I know who I am. I am one unto myself. I am one unto my divine source consciousness in this here now moment. Woo! Gemini has no chill, but we don't need no chill. We can bring the fire. Okay, so the last thing I want to mention, the moon is shifting into Taurus to bring us into this final day of Gemini. But it's so perfect with that moon shifting into Taurus. It's like 2:53 in the afternoon, I believe. So 2:53 p.m. Pacific time in the afternoon. So a little bit later in the day, that shift is happening. But again, it's this worth focus. The worth focus is all part of this. And sometimes to know your worth, you have to look at the places where your worth has been wounded, this life or other lifetimes. That Chiron square may feel tough. Tough stuff may come up. But you do have that divine source, light, consciousness within you. So, Little Red Riding Hood, you are changing the way you view yourself and speaking up and out. Others see you as an advocate for justice and fair play. You defend others by being who you are, simply by refusing to hide away or be fearful. By waking up every day despite hardships, you are showing so many the way to live. You have made friends with your strength, and while people have mistaken you for a pushover, you know that when the time comes, you are a strong person who cannot be stopped. Like a wolf, you have fur and claws, and brothers and sisters who will help you if you only so much call upon their energy. So call upon wolf energy to help you with any of these wounds. But to find them, you must connect with the wolf within. It is time to travel on a new path. There's that Fool card. Crossing a wood that seems empty and cold, but you will not be alone or helpless. You are not prey. You will have a strong and unconventional ally, and you will travel at night across lands, and it will be magical. You have strong allies around you now. Connect most to the spirit of the wolf. The wolf knows how to run with the pack and how to stand alone, which, by the way, I do have the aloneness hermit card as well. And I was like, I don't really feel this so much in this energy, but here it is. Wolf knows how to stand alone. And sometimes that can be alone too. The feeling of lonely, that can be one of those victim consciousness. I'm lonely. I don't have support. Well, universe is like, you may see yourself as alone, but here you have wolf. You have powerful, energetic allies holding space with you. Let's see. The wolf knows how to run with the pack and how to stand alone. Like the wolf, you must be prepared to defend yourself, even if it means facing a fight. There comes a time to stand your ground and face the energy, or face the energy. What it really says is face the enemy, but face the energy. That time has come now, brave one. And then the mermaid and the turtle. An elder will teach you. All right, so we're going to read this little thing too, because it also talks about this victim energy. It's highly unlikely that a literal, experienced tribal elder will step forward in garb of feather and bone to guide you today. But somebody may step forward in overalls or in a trash costume. It's not a costume, trash uniform. There's a wisdom. There's an elder in everybody. Although such beings can can appear in vision or in disguise. So, yeah, there we go. So, while it may seem that there is no witch with her cauldron of transformation at the ready, no green man to help you take deep beneath the underworld and help you to be reborn, there are ancient ones who are ready to teach you the deep knowledge of the planet and her oceans, who will come to you in many ways. At this time, it is the turtles who will speak with you, so wolf and turtle, letting you know of your very old soul. By the way, this is page 111 for those who like numbers. And whispering words that reawaken knowledge that is deep in the blood and the bones of mother seas. The goddess Sedna may also be speaking to you of her journey from a victim to a being who gave the gift of creation to creatures of the deep oceans. Her pain was transformed, and with this new knowledge, you too will transform your wounds and losses into wonders, knowledge, and imaginations that bring you closer to the true reality we all live in as the world changes again. So, this was a heavy one. Gemini has no chill. Just say it again. Gemini has no chill. And it's okay, because it is making us rise. And it's time that we rise, because we have so much light to share the world once we get past these illusions that we have been carrying. So, my sale's still going. $44 for it. 30 minutes. You can do that at GaiaBlooming.com. You can email me if you have any questions. I will see you tomorrow. Namaste.